Hi, from the Thoughtful Gardener. I wanted to share with you a few things that I've been using this year in my garden that I think your gardener or yourself might enjoy for the holidays. The first is this really fantastic hand salve. It's made by the Epic Honey Company. I love the way it smells. It's all natural. It's got beeswax in it as well as the fragrance. So this one's lavender. I also have a rose scented one. Not only do they smell and feel terrific this time of year where skin has a tendency to dry out, but I also have put it on kind of like a little mini spa treatment underneath my gloves to keep my hands nice and supple when I'm out working in the garden. Speaking of working in the garden, every gardener loves having new gloves, and these from Ball and Bergeon are really some of my favorite that I own. Not only are they absolutely beautiful with this floral pattern on the back, but you can also see that the hand has padding and is very, very durable. This is really important when you're dealing with things that have thorns. I have a lot of Canadian thistle as well as I have multiflora rose in my tiny forest, and so having something that can stand up to protecting me from those very thorny plants is really important. Another addition to my garden basket this year is this waxed cotton apron. Now you will see that I constantly have this on in videos when I'm working out in the garden. Not only does it hold all of my supplies, but it keeps me nice and organized when I want seeds for a particular place, or my garden gloves, which I might take off and leave somewhere. It just keeps me a little more organized, but it's also really easy to keep clean and keeps my clothes from getting damaged from the garden itself. Another one that I think you will love for maybe someone who doesn't have a lot of space, or if you're just wanting to bring something that can be sitting on a windowsill that someone who maybe doesn't have a green thumb could possibly grow. This is a Amaryllis dipped in wax. Couldn't be easier. Merry Christmas. It literally does not require any care other than a bright window. And so far so good. I expect that to bloom just in time for the holidays, and I have been really pleased with how simple it is to keep it happy. Another thing that you might consider is a gift certificate to your favorite garden supply. And one of my favorite places to get durable equipment is the Gardener Supply Company. It's owned and run by gardeners, so all of their items are super practical. They're quite reasonable on price, but they're also really practical. So my mom lives in a community where her garden is located in the community garden, which means she has to take her supplies with her back and forth. This rolling garden cart has been a total godsend because she can walk with that, take up her supplies, and then bring them back and keep them neatly organized. If you're looking for something that would be sustainable year after year, I highly recommend the fruit trees from Peaceful Valley. Now their website is groworganic.com. Last year I ordered 5 trees from them, 1 fig, 2 Asian pear, and 2 white peach. And I am pleased to tell you that not only do they ship them right in time to plant them for the next growing season, but all of my trees did really well. Even in a very dry year, we got figs as well as a white peach, which is quite impressive for a less than 1-year-old tree. If your gardener is a reader like me, I really loved reading Last Child in the Woods. Now Last Child in the Woods. This book, it really hits home because I grew up with neighborhood children, and you would find us often climbing trees, running through the forest, as well as in the creeks. It was really sad during pandemic not to see any children in my tiny forest, although I did see them out on bikes. So this may remind you of your own childhood and may encourage you, since there are health and physical benefits to getting out in the garden, to read about why it's important and why we should be encouraging our children to spend more time outside. If you love to eat, perhaps Eat Your Roses would be a great book for you. It was written by a friend of mine named Denise Schreiber. She has a great recipe in here for ice cream with rose petals. I'm really looking forward next year to making the nasturtiums that are in her rice paper veggie rolls. Not only beautiful, but look delicious too. Can't wait to try that. My sister-in-law was kind enough to give me this fantastic Palais de Tea Advent calendar. Each tea day is different, and each tea window has a little saying. So this one says, in tea, we find friendship and eternity. Isn't that true? I cannot wait to share tea with my friends once our lockdown is over again. A last thing that I highly recommend, but really has a lot of meaning right now, is joining the American Horticultural Society. Not only do they put this beautiful and applicable magazine out once a quarter with stunning pictures and really relevant articles, but the American Horticultural Society has really had a tough year financially. So I'd highly recommend that we keep this organization going, as well as that once you're a member, you get what's called a reciprocal garden program. I cannot think of a nicer Christmas gift for your gardener, because it allows them to see over 3,000 gardens in North America. Gardens in some states were the only thing not shut down during pandemic. So having a little beauty during pandemic and being able to see gardens that otherwise I would have had to pay for really was a nice alternative to have this membership. So highly recommend that you consider that for this season for yourself or maybe a gardening friend. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday this year. Stay safe and garden thoughtfully. Take care.